Well, at least the rain washed away the note from Randy parked in the lawn.
I'm live just to make sure that I just went live.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, it's 1 minute before 6:30, so. Christina's out, she's in Florida. Got some magazines to take.
I know, apparently.
Oh, this is for school.
I've got, these must be yours. Because I got mine here. What do you have? Well, I only got June, but I think I got the other one at home.
Oh, the magazine?
Future public safety of your streets and cities. It doesn't
say.
say confidential. It's about roads. She must have sent away for it.
I don't know, like, they've been delivering random ones.
Oh, okay, so
I'll
they're
get
just going
one,
online
and then like 5 days later, I'll get another one, and
oh, interesting.
next month I'll get.
Okay, it's 6:30, we're gonna start, guys. Thank you for all being here. Thank you for all those out there. We're gonna start with finance. So we're gonna go to the chapter 77, 78, skateboards and golf carts. Eric?
I was wondering if I was missing something.
So we're gonna move that up to admin. I'm gonna line through finance and move that up to admin. Thank you.
Probably both of them.
Yeah, both of them will go up there. So everything will be under admin. So Eric, you wanna tell us a few little changes? Should we do skateboards and see what you wanna talk about there?
Well, to make a long story short, I made all of the changes that Councilman McEwen had sent me from the meeting, not last meeting, but the meeting before that.
Okay,
So I guess these are what I had sent, or what should be in the packet, should be like the final draft of before we send it to Matt Wood, if you guys approve of
if
that.
you, yeah, has everybody had a chance to even look at it then? Any questions? I know we removed streets that were up at the GRC.
That reminded me, I was gonna ask, why not Elm Street? What is Elm Street?
Elm Street, I think, is because of the hill and the way that hill crests. If you get a car coming up over that and there's somebody at the crest of that hill, they get smacked pretty easy. So that's why that's the only thing I can think of as to why it was prohibited. Now, so it'd be up to you guys if you want to allow it.
There's been a few times when I come home in the afternoon
Mhm.
and even like school's getting out or whatever and kids are walking there. If you crest that hill too quick and they're cutting across,
Danger.
it's, and I mean, we've had even vehicle accidents there until we've done the stop sign thing here a couple years ago. And, you know, it's,
I wonder,
Where's that at?
Elm Street?
Elm Street would be between 3rd and 4th.
The big tall building.
Oh, I think on my tour, that's the one you took me down and you said you used to ride your skateboard down.
If I were the old pool used to be.
Yeah.
my grandma lived right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I interviewed here, Jamie took me on the tour of the town and he.
You were the tour guide, huh?
He's the reason why we have a policy, aren't you?
You could be.
Rolled right through a couple of stop signs.
I wonder too, is there something we might want to consider, a little sign saying, like a no skateboard sign on these streets? So I don't think the kids, they're not gonna read this. Their parents aren't gonna read this, so how are they gonna know they can't be on Sharp Street, Locust Street without, if we had like a no skate, you know what I
We
mean?
have
We're
been
gonna have
stopping
to
and
publicize it.
telling all the kids that we come across.
You are doing that?
Skateboarding around the square,
Okay.
mainly in any business district, we're telling them they can't skateboard there.
Okay, so they are getting
Now,
stopped.
majority of them, I think, have been listening. Cause I know I had a citizen complaint and then he later asked me what I did to make him go away. And I'm like,
Just talk to them.
talk to him as we find him, but there's no magic. Couldn't tell you. It got hot and they're doing something else. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Throw them in the paper or something.
Yeah, so maybe do the
Facebook,
website, because you probably need a sign every block and.
Well, on these streets I'm talking about,
Yeah, that's what I
Walnut,
mean.
yeah, you're right, yeah.
I don't think they'll pay attention to this.
They wouldn't pay
No.
attention to signs either, okay.
So we can post something on like the website, Mitch?
maybe?
And Facebook page a
Or Facebook.
reminder, and maybe have Joe put something in the paper that this has been
I can work
approved.
up an article
Okay,
explaining that these streets are prohibited from, because we reduced, all of Walnut would not be prohibited now, it'd just be from
between Tyson and
Tyson
Second.
and Second
Yeah.
and on both Vine and
Mhm.
Walnut. So it allows them to skateboard in more places.
Right,
I'm still in favor of putting signs, at least around the square.
Or at least on that big hill.
Because
Yeah,
even if
well,
they
yeah.
don't look, we at least then can go back, well, I didn't know, well, there's a sign right there. It allows you at least to, they should have been looking,
Right.
as opposed to, we had it on Facebook, because kids are gonna be like, I don't have Facebook. I
Completely
don't-"
up to you guys.
yeah,
I
well,
don't
something
know
to
if
think
it makes sense
about,
with
I
it
think,
or-
when we pass
Just
this.
around the square, I don't know how
Yeah.
much signs are that will go on those
Okay.
posts, but.
Okay, so if no one has any further questions, Eric can submit this to, want to send it to Matt for his review?
I think Matt Woods ought to sign off on it.
Yeah, and then come back and start doing the readings on it.
Correct.
Okay. So council, any more thought on that one?
So the only changes you made were the ones that I sent you, right? So
Bless you.
update to 14 years old with a license, or no, that's the golf cart
That's
one.
golf cart, you want
That's
for
golf
skateboard.
cart.
So,
So, and scooters would have been the ones that you'd set in the, and what I had previously done, which you guys were okay with. So it's, there's nothing drastic. It was the street changes and eliminating
All the streets
All the
are
streets.
prohibited at the GRC.
GRC
Yeah,
because
instead
of
of just
under
certain
construction.
ones.
Remove public parks.
Which I'm, that's one of the ordinances I was looking for is some of the park regulations, but that's gotta, I'll find it out.
Okay, and then allow them to ride if they had a headlight and or tail light on the
Correct.
scooters.
That should be in the,
Perfect.
And if
Whatever
there's,
section I reviewed had park stuff in it, but I just gave those notes to Mitch and I don't even remember what section I had. If that helps you find it, but I know there was park stuff in there. Cause I remember reading it a few times thinking, trying to comparing it to
Mhm.
what we had written elsewhere.
so. Under what I had done, I also added the definitions.
okay,
Cause now that you're saying that, sorry.
no, this is.
It seems like this whole thing was in the section that I reviewed. Cause I remember the thing with the park, it made me question, however it was written. Sorry, it's been like 2 weeks ago now that I did that, 3 weeks ago. Because it seemed like there was something in there that basically said they couldn't ride them down at the park, and I know that in my head I was questioning that. Like, is that really what we want? But I don't see it in this version.
Well, that was probably the one that would have been the.
Yeah,
We recommended
that would've been the
removing
old
it.
one.
changes.
Yep, we
Yeah.
recommended removing the,
Okay.
public park.
The golf cart?
No,
for the
on the
scooters.
On
scooters.
scooters.
So they can ride in the public park.
Okay,
So I added the definitions, I removed the streets that we discussed. I removed the parts about the park.
But I don't know if you added, but it does read they have to yield the right of way to anybody they meet on the
Sidewalk.
approved sidewalks.
Correct.
That might have already been in there.
That would have already been.
Okay, before overtaking and passing such pedestrian. So at the park, that would be the same.
Under the nighttime use, I did put, with a working headlight and rear reflector. And then I also left in there, or at such other times when conditions such as fog, snow, sleet, or rain
Good
provide
idea.
insufficient lighting.
I think in 77.07, the special penalty, right after the comma, I think it should say in lieu of.
Oh, instead of I lieu, in lieu of, yeah. Just a typo. Good catch.
I'll have to own that, sorry.
No worries.
Are you making changes right there? Cause I got another little minor. If you go back where you said snow, sleet, a comma between snow and sleet. Unless snow, sleet is something I.
Snow, sleet happening at the same
And then
time.
I did change the violation, the scheduled violations. I believe the 50, 100, and 200. To be quite honest with you though, they're gonna have to be extremely disrespectful or rude in order to catch a citation
Yeah.
for this. It's gonna be more of a verbal.
Sure.
Well, just by what you were saying, it sounds like the verbal is working
It
for the most
it
part.
really is.
Yeah, that's good.
Unless you get someone you gotta give a verbal to like 5 or 6 times.
Those would be the ones that we would
Mm.
have a further discussion with, where we probably, before we issue the citation, anybody who would take a skateboard and make a parent come in, or unless they're an adult and they're just not listening.
This is on topic, but off topic, all at the same time. So Mitch, if you need to reel me back in, feel free. Because I was talking to Mike Collins over the weekend, and people are concerned about kids playing in the cemetery. And he and I had a because I go out there and I walk and I run, and so there are kids that ride their bikes. And I said, I have no issues with that. Is that anything that we need to have? Do we even want to address it in here? That it's okay out there? And maybe it's not. Maybe we just leave it alone.
Have they had issues?
Not with that.
Okay.
It's when the kids get bored and then they go off and then they start making music on headstones or, I'm
Well, I know we've had some citizen complaints, because there used to be a smaller group of kids that lived off North Walnut. They would go back and start playing football in the
Yeah.
open lot area, but they thought that was extremely offensive and didn't think they should be there.
I'm just, because Mike and I got talking specifically about kids riding bikes out
Is he
there.
okay with
Or he and I were both,
He was okay. He wasn't upset.
no,
Okay.
but it's just as we talk about this,
Mhm.
is
Do we
it something that we need to have in there now so that we're not coming back in 6 months and now we need to update the ordinance again to include,
Mhm.
or do we just not mention it? I don't know what's better. If you don't bring it up, they will think about riding out there.
Yeah.
Is the
bring it up.
prohibited areas like at the cemetery if you don't want scooters in the cemetery?
I don't, doesn't
Is it
bother
mostly
me.
bikes or are there scooters out there?
I'm sure there are scooters out there.
You live across the street.
My kids take scooters in there. I see scooters in there all the time.
There's even like a little motorized motorcycle, like a little tiny one
I
that
don't see that
somebody
one. I
rides.
just see my kids on
Yeah,
scooters.
that one belongs to
scooters
people
in there.
next door, I think. Yeah.
Oh, your kids are on scooters in there?
Not the electric ones.
Yeah. Just the regular?
Yeah, I mean, kids go play in there, and as long as they're not destructive,
Yeah,
I would rather have them in there
Well,
and
they're
off of
safer in
that
there than on the
highway.
road.
Yes,
Yeah, that's my
that's
thought.
my take.
Mine too.
Yep. Again, we can just leave it out.
I would just.
I would just
not
leave it
even-
out. If Mike wants to, if Mike thinks we need to address it.
He doesn't,
okay
he and
with it.
I totally agree. Again, I was thinking about this and I don't wanna talk about this again in 6 months.
Yeah.
It's-
We might be.
We
We'll
might-
see.
So are you guys okay with it as it reads then?
Council
Those
okay with
minor
it?
Changes?
Well, good. Okay. Looks like they're okay with it. Golf carts. Dun, dun, dun. Make that up.
I'm having a hard time differentiating what I read versus what was.
What this is.
Right, what the,
Well, we basically took out the timeline
times.
and then,
We
Yeah.
changed the
the age
ages,
was
right?
where they could be on it. They had to be 16, a driver's license. I'm not sure what that
We
is.
changed that to 14 because they.
Yeah.
78.02.
Oh, okay, so they have to be at least,
14 years old with a license.
because they have a permit, they have,
It's a license.
if they have just a permit, but then that's with a licensed driver.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, got you. So that was that change. Okay, got it. Got it.
There wasn't, I didn't really submit a whole lot of changes to this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the only one that I sent to Eric was
There's still quite a
age.
few driving around that haven't updated their permits or don't have them at all. So your officers might want to start keeping their eyes out by the golf course in our neighborhood, because we see them all the time. There's tons of them out there right now.
Sure.
There's one that just drives around in a red one, around and around and around. We watch her. I doubt she's 14. But I bet 6 times, I think she's just taking rides. They're just letting her drive around the block.
Learning how to drive.
Maybe, I don't know.
Is it worth doing, thinking back to my days in high school,
On my street with kids.
when they would do the seatbelt checks, to just pick a day and park somewhere and start checking them?
Yes.
Maybe you've already done that.
The thing I'll have to remind everybody is I'm 3 short.
Right, we get that.
So,
We get that.
what's your point?
Um,
Yes.
But I'm
You
still
know, on top of the
confused,
three
do all
short,
golf
we've
carts
been
have
extremely busy.
seatbelts or no? I don't think ours has a seatbelt.
I don't think
They don't normally come with seatbelts.
The older ones for sure don't.
You'll
So
have
it's
to
only
tie
if
a
they
rope.
have an operable seatbelt I think we need to address that, because a lot of them don't have seatbelts. They just don't come with seatbelts. That's 10 riding on golf carts. I don't want to penalize somebody because their golf cart didn't come with one.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's for those under the age of 18, so I mean, it wouldn't affect us, but if it doesn't have one, I don't know what we
This
can
is-
do for them.
The ordinance applies to all golf carts, no matter what your age is, right?
No, it says all passengers under the age of 18 shall wear and utilize an operable seatbelt when the golf cart's in motion. So that's
Oh,
only if they're
gotcha.
under 18.
So.
Oh.
to the age of-
So if Stan
I thought it
had a
was-
grandkid on it, I guess we could put their car seat in it and buckle them in that way. But they're usually in the Ranger, so they're
Used up.
buckled up now anyway.
Mm,
But I don't know if we need to address that, because not all of them have seatbelts. If we can. Do we know that?
I'm just sitting here thinking about, like, my mom's, I'm sitting here going,
Stan's doesn't have a
hers
seatbelt.
doesn't have one on
Stan's
there,
doesn't either, but
Or
we don't have
does it,
anybody under 18.
and that it's just been tucked away.
Oh, I guess I should look.
You know what, I'm sitting here going,
Well, that's
because,
true.
I mean, because you can, know what I mean, shove
Yeah.
them down behind, and I,
Do you have a
So I
golf
don't-
cart, Jamie? Okay, do you know
All
people
the
that
golf
do?
carts
Do they
out.
have?
The golf carts at the golf courses do not have
They do not have
seatbelts,
seatbelts.
but
Okay.
they're also not road ready either. They don't have headlights or taillights
Oh,
or anything
sure.
else, so I don't know if something,
I guess I could text Stan.
well, and are they just removable?
yeah.
Like, is that an optional thing when you buy one?
Do you want to strike the seatbelt thing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just bringing it up. I just don't want it to
Can we
be
just
a
say that it's
hard-
recommended that,
If they have it, they have to have them on. I don't
I'll
know.
word it however you guys want to word it.
I don't know.
And that's not.
Well, I'll be
that's what
morbid
we'd
and
rather
just
have.
say, let's be honest, if a golf cart gets hit, the outcome's probably not gonna be good whether you have a seatbelt on or not.
Well, the thing that, I guess,
You're right.
part of the reason I was thinking about it was the fact when we had that accident at the golf course where the older gentleman got ejected off the golf
Oh,
cart
and into
the
the-
bridge and
yeah.
the rocks down below.
oh my goodness.
But that
Did
was
it
on
have
the
a-
golf course, right?
Yeah.
That,
But did he have a
So it wouldn't
seatbelt
have
on,
mattered.
or did it have a seatbelt on the golf
I
cart?
don't remember it on it. But I
right?
know if he would have had a seatbelt on, he wouldn't have got ejected.
But it wouldn't have mattered
whole-
because he was on private property, right?
True,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have mattered, other than the fact it would have saved him.
Did he die?
That little detail.
He did not die. He was
That's just what he's talking about.
Right.
That happened out there if he'd had a seatbelt on. So you're talking about somebody crossing Locust Street and pulls out in front of somebody. If they had a seatbelt, is it gonna make a difference?
Sometimes it would, sometimes it won't. You're right. You don't know. So I don't know.
But I did alter the wording, so those people who live on Marion Avenue.
Yep, I saw that,
And out of Hickory Ridge,
so they could
it just
access.
says that they could go down that street to access the first available road.
Right, right.
Now, will a trooper recognize that? I don't know. But it's in our ordinance, and they could use that to fight.
Yeah,
Can we just put in there that it's strongly recommended that if the golf cart is equipped with seatbelts?
I
that-
think so. Maybe do that.
Good.
Make it a strong recommendation.
And then you don't, I mean, if it doesn't come with it, or if they
What
don't have
does
it,
the
then.
state law say? I'm looking at you,
I
Greg.
don't think the state law has anything other than their seatbelt.
Because we'd have to follow
Now, if,
state guidance.
I don't know what age of the vehicle is that the state does not recognize seatbelts would be the antique cars. I don't know.
It says in Iowa, golf carts are generally not allowed on public roads unless specifically authorized by local or city ordinances.
So
See, I
The
know
one
that.
thing that they stayed out of.
With a speed limit less than 30
Ours
miles
doesn't
per
have
hour.
it, since yet. Because responder, ours does not have seat.
Drivers need to have a valid driver's license. The golf cart must meet safety requirements. They have to have a slow-moving vehicle sign on them or a bike safety flag, brakes, headlights, and taillights.
It
Doesn't say anything
says
about seatbelts.
if it is, it's required for them to wear one on public streets or highways if the all golf cart is equipped with them.
Okay, so if it's equipped with it, you have to. I'm sure the newer ones
Under
probably have.
12 must wear seatbelts in the golf cart on
Some
public
cars,
streets.
some
and
old
those under
cars.
Some
8
old
are
cars
not
didn't.
allowed to ride.
Those that are what?
Under 8 are not allowed to ride
If they don't
on
have.
public streets unless it's a designated event.
Oh, okay.
That's AI, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong.
This is the actual ordinance though for Iowa. It says the same thing. It says golf carts are not subject to the registration provisions of the chapter. Doesn't really say a whole lot. Do we have it, we have to have the big slow moving vehicle thing on there, the triangle like a tractor?
Yes, that's in our code.
Okay.
So there's nothing in that code about seatbelts, or is it what Danielle said with our version of AI? Because if we can just pull that language out of the state, use it, then I would think we'd
Yeah,
be,
that would be safe.
then we're,
We're following state.
right.
What else am I thinking? It's pretty minimal, there's like 3
Because we
points.
did mention 8 years old. No person operating a golf cart on a public street or alley shall allow a person in the golf cart who has not yet obtained the age of 8, except during
So an
specifically
alternate
designated
to-
events. So we did pull that.
All passengers under the age of 18 years of age are required to utilize an operable seatbelt if the golf cart is equipped with one and in motion.
Yeah, there you go.
That satisfied?
There's other language that separates golf cart from low, what is it called? Low something,
Slow-moving vehicle.
yeah, slow moving vehicle. I don't know, the slow moving vehicle is fitted with turn signals, parking brakes, rear view mirrors, headlights, mirrors, and vehicle ID numbers. So that's more like a side by side.
No,
Uh,
that
I
was
think
all
it's
TV.
like
maybe a go-kart?
I don't know.
maybe a go-kart, but maybe a tractor.
Okay.
Oh, a slow moving, yeah, they're slow moving for sure.
I would say if we can use that language,
Yeah.
that's the way to go. That's
I
like
agree.
my,
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Any other comments? We got about 5 minutes, people.
Do we require them to have insurance on their golf cart?
Mhm.
Yeah, we have to provide our homeowners insurance.
We're gonna make them optional, is that what we're gonna say for the seatbelts?
Yeah, if they're.
Yeah, if they're
on- He's
equipped.
worded,
If
if
it's equipped, they
they're
must
equipped
use
with
it,
one.
I guess.
How many have, did they give an update, how many have
How many we
filled out
have
permits
licensed?
now that you got permits
I-
for?
Yeah,
I was just
I'm
curious
sorry.
if you've updated it since, okay.
I can have that for
No,
that.
that's okay. I was
but
just
I don't
curious.
have one.
Yeah, okay.
Will we do the same thing for that one and post the updates on Facebook or?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
I would say so. So do you have record, those that are expired, do you guys send them out reminders then? Because we have seen some that are not red, so we know, but they're on there, so we know they're,
We do not.
you don't
typically send out
remind them
reminders,
then that you
only
haven't
because then
renewed.
it's more of a cost for us.
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
it,
the cost.
so,
Okay. Okay,
I know I've stopped two people and reminded them that
Mm-hmm.
they were supposed to come down licensed, but I don't, like I said, I don't have an update today.
okay. Because you change the color every year, right?
Yes,
And it's red this year.
we typically try to match the color of the license plate stickers.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Hmm. Okay,
So then is that one ready to go to Matt too?
I believe so.
I would say that would be correct. Okay.
Cause I can alter all the major stuff, but as far as like the chapter 78, sometimes Matt does.
He needs
so
to, yeah.
He works his magic to
Mhm.
make it fit within.
Makes
the
it
ropes.
proper and legal, huh? Okay, we have 4 minutes, so. You want to just mute us? Tell me, are we live?
We're gonna call the meeting to order, 7 o'clock.
We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I was hoping it was mine. I was hoping it's not. Okay, at this time we'll have clerk take roll call, please.
Kate,
Here.
McEwen,
Here.
Lyons,
Here.
Smithers.
Yes.
Here.
Yep.
That's my dilemma.
Okay,
What am I answering?
Apparently.
at this time we will ask for a motion for, to approve the consent agenda as printed.
So moved, Smithers?
Second,
Kate's.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
Kate,
Yes.
Lyons,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
McEwen.
Yes.
Very good. At this time, we allow visitors. Julie, did you want to state anything? You're just, okay, thank you. Committee reports. We just have admin tonight.
Oh, that's me. So tonight in the committee meeting, we talked about two ordinances. Chapter 77 with skateboards, roller skates, and scooters. And chapter 78, the golf cart review. There were some minor updates that were made to the language. For the skateboards, it was not allowing those items on the GRC property. Allowing scooters to ride at night if they have a headlight and a rear reflector, and then removing the public park language so that people can ride skateboards, roller skates, or scooters in the park. And then the main update was the age limit for the golf cart ordinance. It was updated to 14 years old. They have to have a permit and be with a licensed driver. And then adding some updated language to say if the golf cart is equipped with seatbelts, that the riders must be, under the age of 8 or 18.
Under the age of 18.
If there's seatbelts, then anyone under the age 18 has to be wearing the seatbelts. We also talked about maybe adding signage to some of the streets that were an issue. I don't think anything was decided, but we'll look into it. And then just making sure that we're updating the website, Facebook, and or the paper, just so citizens know of the changes that apply to most likely their children. So. And then both are ready for final review from legal.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 6, which is a motion to approve a special event permit for Mills County Relay for Life, waiving an application fee. And Donnie, did you want to speak of this one? Was it from you?
Yeah.
Okay, if you'd like to talk about it, or,
I got involved with the Relay for Life, me and my wife did here last year, and I'm coming tonight on Saturday, July 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. down at the ZM and the Glenwood Lake Park. We would like to have the Shelter B and the surrounding area there. We're gonna have games for kids, smaller kids, teenagers, from Plinko to face painting, bubble station, and the ZM is going to have food for us. There's going to be homemade ice cream sandwiches, and it'll just be a family fun and games and luminary display. You can also, I was going to leave these, the luminary bags for sale. Those are the bags that you can purchase in memory or in honor of someone who's fighting cancer or has lost their battle to cancer. You can purchase those bags, write their name, put a little note on them. And those will be on display on the pathway around the ZM, possibly up around through the amphitheater. The survivor ceremony will be at 5:30, and I guess we're just gonna speak a little bit, someone's gonna speak a little bit about the survivors and
at
just,
5:30, you said?
Survivor ceremony at 5:30 at the ZM.
Got it.
And then we're just also, our theme for this one is keep on pushing on for a cure. And that kind of goes in with the REO Speedwagon tribute band that is at the amphitheater that night. So, we're just asking on behalf of the Mills County Relay for Life that, application fee and the fee for the shelter be waived
Okay.
for this event.
So your event, you said 4 to 6, but then then it says 2 to after.
We're gonna be down
That's
there.
when you're gonna be down
We're
there.
gonna be
until-
down there at around 2
To
PM
set
to
up.
start setting up games.
But
you
then
know,
you'll be there till after the concert.
After the
over at end.
concert, sometime we'll go around, start picking up the luminaries and getting everything out.
Okay,
I spoke with Ron about a month ago,
okay,
told him, we might need a couple extra trash receptacles. We're not sure yet. The closer it gets, I'll talk to him and let him know if need be.
yeah,
We've got a couple big toters that we can bring down on our own that I can dispose of myself.
okay. And then, did you ask Danny to see if Shelter B was open for that day? So
Yeah,
you were
we've
okay?
already-
Okay,
yeah,
so
we
you don't have to worry
already
about
took
that
care of all
already being
that.
reserved. Perfect. Looks like you covered it all. Okay. So I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve waiving the fee.
So moved, Lyons?
A second,
McEwen?
and then any discussion. Sounds like a great event.
I hope we'll have good weather,
Yeah.
decent weather.
Me too. Okay, roll call, please.
Lines,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Kate's,
I'm gonna abstain because I'm part of it.
and McEwen.
Yes.
Okay, so moved and approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go to departmental reports. Nothing from the library, Mitch?
Nope.
Mike, nothing from the cemetery, nothing from park. Jamie Clark.
Met with Nick from Eagle Engineering today up on the overlay projects on Walnut and Florence. They're starting on them tomorrow.
Oh, good.
We'll start with concrete patchwork first and then do the grind and overlays. And Sharp Street, they're starting on that the week after the 4th of July.
Which one was that?
Sharp Street. Very good.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Johansson of the police department.
Well, I have a few things. Our department's been extremely busy. We've had 2 separate search warrants for the past couple of weeks, multiple arrests off of them. And the resource center has had a lot of activity with criminal mischief, vandalism type stuff. We had at least 2 SWITA buses that were driven without
Borrowed.
authorization, or whatever you want to call it. We've had a conversation with SWITA about leaving the keys in the buses. That doesn't happen anymore. However, it's an ongoing issue up there. So just to make everybody aware. And then, I
What
did
time
get,
of day did that happen, could I ask?
well, we caught them, I believe it was just a little after 2 a.m.
So
on Friday.
just a routine drive caught them, or did someone call?
No, a routine.
It was just a routine
patrol.
drive-through.
We had
Tell them thanks for doing that.
Officer Surratt was going to just drive through the area.
Yeah.
And end up stopping an SUV, and then the SWITA bus pulled away as he was with the SUV, so.
Okay,
So we're still working on that investigation. We have multiple parties involved.
We don't have, like, the kids' place has been moved, right? So the only thing up there right now is Glen Haven.
right.
So do we have cameras
So-
up there that can
No,
help?
no, not yet.
So I played phone tag with Larry Wenham, and then we never connected, and then because I've been traveling, I will write it down to follow up again, because we need to press
So-
that issue.
central office and kids' place, my understanding is completely out of that building because they're doing the construction.
Until the end of this
So
week,
you
they'll
have
start,
construction workers
Oh,
during
but
the
they,
day at that
okay,
building.
gotcha.
And then you have Glen Haven coming in and out of their area.
the electrical should be done by the end of this week, and then they have the rest to do, they'll be back in August, so they have out.
I'm just thinking like to track license plates as they go into either one of the tunnels, you can
Right.
easily know who's working at Glen Haven to know who should be on that campus.
Mhm.
So we have some potential options, but as of right now, we don't have a solid plan in place. We need to work with Larry a little harder on that, which he was made aware of the issues we've had, him and Mark Lincoln both. So I do have a complaint that came in that I didn't really have an answer for, and I haven't received an answer. There was a large softball, baseball tournament that occupied both the sports complex and the city ball field. Somebody was very concerned and upset that they were charging to go to this tournament. Didn't know how they could charge with this, being on the city-owned field. I don't have an answer for that. I know they have user agreements. I don't know if that allows them access to do that.
We
Not
did
sure-
talk about
Not sure if
that
you guys were aware they were charging.
That actually came up
at the park board meeting, but
That's
they
right, you
do,
were-
it's like an admission fee. And I get
And
that, but they're using the fields, but they pay, they're paying a user fee for all the kids. It's no different than the softball high school when they use the YMCA parking lot and charge, don't they charge down there? They have. I've
At the
seen them.
Y, the park?
The
No.
Y doesn't charge.
They just have you go on
Oh, they
one
just
side of the
limit how
parking
many
lot.
can be there? Oh, they're not actually charging.
Because they want
See,
to
I
keep
thought they
spots
were.
open for the Y members that are.
Okay,
And they were saying-
Stopping people from parking.
And they were saying that it's not charging for parking, it's
Right.
charging admission.
it's admission to help
into
pay for the umpires.
Yeah, into the,
And I just didn't have an answer.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what we
Wasn't sure
were,
how
our
we were
understanding.
doing that.
We can bring it up, but we're gonna be meeting with the group next week, so we can certainly address that for next year.
And I
It's
don't
just the
make
second year they've done it.
an issue out of something that really doesn't need to be. I just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even
Sure,
understand why they're
we're okay.
asking. That's normal for a tournament. I don't
They
care
are.
whether it's
There's
basketball,
volleyball,
soccer, like
everything
you pay
tournament.
You
to enter a
pay to
tournament.
go to a tournament.
Pay to go
Most
to a
people are
tournament.
used to that, yeah.
Yep.
And most of them are the family members anyway, so they're very well aware, and they did it by car, so it didn't hurt everybody. It was just per car.
I just bring it up because you got
Okay.
asked and I'm like, I don't have any idea.
And maybe I'm confused. They were charging people to watch or they were charging teams to play in the tournament?
You know,
people to watch.
people that were coming in to watch.
To help pay for it was admission to come watch, but it was per car, so they could help cover
that's a little weird.
umpire fees, because they were like $3,000.
But that's what the tournament committee fee should be doing.
I don't know. We'll have
That's
to
just
ask
for the
about
teams
that.
themselves
That's
to
for the
play.
That's for them to.
That's usually how that works,
Right,
not
but
for
that
people
should-
attending to watch. As
It's kind of
parents,
like the parents, you pay
Yeah.
for your daughter to go to dance, and then you pay to go to the concert.
Yeah,
To watch her.
And pay for all the
Again, I'm not trying to
uniforms.
create an issue that we need to be, but at the same time, I want to
Yeah,
make you guys aware.
we'll address it when we meet with them, so everybody can have more clarity for next time.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for bringing it to our
Other than that,
attention.
I have nothing further tonight.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm still on that. So where are they charging entrance fees? Like as they're pulling
As
into
they're
the
pulling in.
complex?
They reduced, I know it was at the city ball field, I'm not sure how they did it at the complex, but they reduced the entrance, they coned off a couple of the other entrances to where they had to come into the one by the corner of Vine and Tyson. And they were charging as they came in there, is my understanding.
So that would explain, because I was down there that week, last
it was
weekend.
last weekend, yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, because I was going to drop cans off at Drop It, and I couldn't get in to drop it because they had them all coned off. And I thought maybe it was something related to the
Wireless people.
fiber people that had, I was like, maybe that was what it
Yeah,
said. That
it's
was.
locked off dropping them.
Yeah, that's.
You had one way in because I had to go down, turn around and come back.
So you
and
could
enter
get
that
into
way.
it then.
And there wasn't anybody standing there collecting, because I probably would have questioned that.
My understanding was there was 31 teams that came to this tournament, so every field,
It was
that's
good
what I
for
was told, every field was
busy.
occupied by
Mhm.
this tournament.
I noticed, I just happened to be driving out of town and I noticed the entry into the new 165.
165.
There was a big sign, $10
Yeah.
right there at the.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
entrance to the drive.
On Facebook, it was to cover, I know they said it was to cover the $3,000 for the umpire fees, to help cover the cost of that. That's why they were doing that. But again, we'll address it. We can talk.
Well, my thought is if they pay the user fees, then I suppose if they're hosting a tournament, they get a charge. But
Yep.
again,
That's my thought too. I
And
think
I think, although it's worth,
We could specifically spell that out in the agreement. maybe?
we may have to, yeah, we may have to, when we do the agreement. Will you be able to do
Limit to
it?
one tournament per year that you can.
well, yeah, I do think it's something to,
I
because
don't think
so
they wanna
if
do
you
more than
have,
one, I think I think it was a lot of volunteer hours probably to
Yeah.
put together that.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they do more than one. I think that's the one that they do every year.
But I think it's good for Glenwood to have it, right? It
Oh,
brought a
yeah,
ton of people,
absolutely.
town,
For
restaurants,
restaurants and.
all of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
I mean,
was
I would
good.
hate to limit them to one if they could bring
yeah,
three good
I
ones to
agree.
31
I
teams.
just think we need to figure out then what that looks like.
It's worth a conversation with them and then we can come to.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's not confusing for everybody.
this week, Matt and I did go out and get some excess federal property, for the fire department. Just a couple things for the police department. And we got a few things for the school as well.
And yes, I can come to that meeting. Good. It wouldn't, I kept hitting accept, but it wouldn't generate a response. I don't,
Something must be weird if I set it up.
Yeah,
but it's on my calendar, so.
okay, good. Good. Anything else, Eric?
Nothing else.
Matt Gray, you're next.
Since last council meeting, we had 60 calls for service. Been pretty busy with calls and, the fire hydrant parties are going very well.
Good.
Also, July 12th, the department will be hosting, the Fire Association paying for a speaker to come in and do leadership training. I gave you guys each a copy of it. Other fire departments are invited. I know we've had some reach out from Sergeant Bluff and
Oh, nice.
Des Moines and over in Nebraska and up in the eastern Iowa as well. So I'm hoping for a good turnout. He's a very good speaker. I've already been to one of his seminars. He actually does a really good job. So
He's authored 7 books,
that's
so,
pretty much it.
yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, Mitch, you're up next.
Yes, I am looking for a motion to approve, the union contract.
Finally.
Got everything straightened away and
Okay,
no changes from what we discussed. There was just some back and forth about just clearing up wording and then getting everyone to sign it.
signatures.
Yeah. So we got it now.
Okay, so asking for a motion then.
So moved, Lyons?
Okay, second.
Smithers. Excuse me, Smithers.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen,
Yes.
Lyons,
Yes.
Kate's,
Yes.
Smithers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then the next one's a motion to approve the employee handbook, and it's just making a change for things we just approved in the union contract for the employee health insurance, the deductible reimbursement, and
All matches.
the employee premiums, and then the longevity pay. So it matches what's in the union contract.
Bringing it up to date. So a motion for that, please.
So move Smithers.
Second.
Lyons?
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lyons,
Yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Kate's.
Yes.
Thank you.
So resolution 3721 is setting the wages for the union positions, employees in union positions for FY '26. And it's just based on the agreed upon pay rates from the union contract.
Motion, please.
So moved, McEwen?
Second.
Kate's,
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lines,
Yes.
Kate's,
yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Smithers.
Yes.
Resolution 3722 is non-union employee pay increases for FY '26. So if you have any questions, happy to answer them.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3722.
Second.
McEwen?
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lines,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Kate's.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And then pool update, I just wanted to give a quick pool update. So I sent the attorney information that they had requested, and they are currently reviewing it. And then we'll get back to us on next steps and probably drafting up, maybe meeting with you all in a closed session. But so they've got the information and I'm waiting to hear back on if they need anything additional. I did follow up and ask them if they need anything additional and they said, no, at this time, they're just currently reviewing it with their team. So that's where we're at with the pool, and the pool attorney. Then the trail update that I have is, so we've been working on trying to rescale some of those trail grants with MAPPA and the state. And I met with them because they had said we would need an easement for that route that we had chosen because it's mostly on school property and not in the right of way. Part of it's in the right of way. But we need that easement for that. But we didn't even get to talking about the easement in the meeting because the state in the meeting told me that the project as we redesigned it wouldn't qualify anymore for the SRT grant that we had applied for. There's not as much flexibility in changing how those funds can be spent. MAPPA has more flexibility for changing the TAP grants, and they're open to changing it for our project. But the SRT doesn't have that kind of flexibility with the state. So the original SRT application, the whole purpose of that application was to improve safety for crossing Sharp Street, from people south of Sharp Street to get across north of Sharp Street. And so I asked Jake to put the same route we have, but put the underpass under Sharp Street, which was originally in the plan. And then so I could ask the state if we included the underpass, did this same route right here, not for the bridge, but include the underpass to get access to the Lake Park and get across Sharp Street, would we then still qualify for some of the SRT grant funds? And so he's looking into it and I'll get back to you on that. But that's sort of where I'm at with the trail grants. Still just working out all of the requirements and stipulations of the grant programs with the grantors.
That would take us back over though, wouldn't it? Money-wise?
Well, we didn't put the barriers. Jake's rough estimate was that the underpass would be in the 270,000.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's still like a rough,
It's a puzzle.
it's still just like a rough estimate. And the Glenwood State Bank told me there's the Ray Thomas Trust that is available for the benefit of Lake Park and the amphitheater and museum. And if it connects to Lake Park with an underpass, we could make a presentation to them to request maybe some matching funds from them. It would have to be approved by those trustees. But that's an opportunity maybe to get some more matching funds. And then the Mills County Trails does have some money left in their account that could also be used as matching funds. So there's some possibility for some more matching funds, but the SRT grant is nice because that one can be used to pay for engineering. And so that's why if we could keep it by just adding the underpass, it would be nice because you can actually use the SRT grant for engineering and for the match of the TAP grant. If that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
to be part of them.
The TAP grants can only be used for the construction.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to keep the SRT grant if we
Agreed.
could at all keep it, but we might not be able to with that route that we want to do. And obviously we want to do that one because it connects our bridge down to school and everything. That's the trail update. I'll keep you up to date after every meeting that I have with them. And also happy to answer any questions if you have any. And then codification updates, just want to let you know, I am still thinking about that, but we've just had other things come up. But I got Lori's feedback here, so I'll compile one document. I'm not sure if I've got everyone's.
I didn't give you mine, I was bringing it to the
Okay, yeah, I
meeting,
need
so
to
I'll have to get that to you.
I've got mine
Yes, I
with
got
a few
yours.
notes.
Okay.
IOU notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I get all those notes in, compile
Okay.
them, and then we can discuss again in a committee meeting.
Okay.
And then other than that, just been working on a few different cleanup of outstanding transactions in our bank statements and following up on different legislation that has come up. But Eric let me know there was some legislation for the IPERS that affected the public safety employees, and IPERS sent out an email. So the IPERS contribution rate that we pay for public safety is going slightly down and then going slightly up for the employees.
And that's effective this
So
July
that's
1st.
effective this July 1st, so we need to figure out with our accounting software how to enter that change so we get it all in correct for July 1st, our next payroll.
G-Works should be able to help you with
Yeah,
that.
they should, yeah.
I figure out.
They're probably doing it, for
For
all their
everybody
other
else.
clients across
I'm
the
surprised they
state.
haven't done an update for you to just run the
Yeah.
update, because it's
Yeah.
what they used to do.
We might be getting
Yeah.
something like that. They might tell us that.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, anything
And then
else?
the website was updated.
I looked at it, yeah.
It's now, the main website address now says cityofglenwoodia.gov.
Mm-hmm,
But if you type in cityofglenwood.org, it should also take you there.
mm-hmm.
And then we got the updated look, and we can slowly work on getting headshots of all of you on there.
I did send him yours.
And then if
Do
you
you have
have,
yours to send in?
if you have any,
So he's
Well, I
got,
don't have it.
you gave it to me?
Well, I told you that I had it done. I thought.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. Maybe she didn't
I
send it
haven't
to
seen it
you.
either. No.
I'll ask Amy
Or
to send it.
maybe it's been so long ago, I don't remember.
Check your email, and if you don't have it, I can ask her. Okay, anyway,
and then if you have any high quality pictures of the city of Glenwood that you would like to put on the website, I would like to improve the resolution quality of the banner picture. It's sort of, not high resolution picture, the first picture when you go on the website.
mhm,
So I'd like a higher quality picture.
yeah,
For
that's an old
that.
one.
And then we can change the banners on the other pages too,
Okay.
so. Just to, advertise our city, make our digital representation of the city more accurate to what Glenwood is really like.
Okay, thanks. Okay, item number 8 is resolution 3723. Now, last meeting, you guys approved the change on the food truck rates, but it has to be set by resolution, so we had to assign a resolution number 3723. So we are making it a formal motion that I'm asking for to get that up and running.
So moved, McEwen?
Okay, and then a second.
Kate's,
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Lines,
Yes.
Kate.
yes.
Okay, then we have a community development block grant recovery project with SWIDA, or SWITCO, I apologize, SWITCO. An invoice 1455-21 in the amount of $1694. Looking for a motion for that. And that is to do with the downtown revite for salaries, mileage, oh, there's no mileage, grant expense, overhead, whatever that is. So asking for approval to make payment.
So moved, Smithers?
Second,
Kate's,
and any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kate,
yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Lines,
Yes.
McEwen.
Yes.
And I will mention that there was a downtown revite meeting that got set up with SWIPCO and Mitch, and we met with some of the property owners. And there's gonna be a weekly email that will go out, I think maybe this Friday will be the first one, I'm not sure. To keep everybody updated on what's going on, because there have been some delay because of the change orders and some confusion. So hopefully this, and then Joe George is gonna be the direct liaison to work with the group, so he's very familiar with the project, so it should go a little smoother. Okay, my report, Mitch and I attended the annual economic development meeting today from 4 to 6 at the Malvern at the Lakin Building. Debbie Dern was the guest speaker. And then I had been talking about my next project. I'd like to see a splash pad in Glenwood, like Tabor's getting. And the YMCA, they have grant writers that they've offered that they work with us. If you're okay with me looking into that to see if we might, for down the road. But they're willing, we'd actually, you know how I said I'm a grant writer for little tiny grants? This is a big one. And Diana talked to their Omaha, and they've offered to help do it. So we'll meet with them later in the summer and work with the park and
Sounds great.
maybe come up with something. So we have another option for our kids. So hopefully that'll work out. I'll be at a MAPPA board meeting this Thursday. Tomorrow morning, Mitch and I will be attending a photo thing with the Kiwanis for Hiley Park at Glenwood State Bank. They've awarded about 18 grand.
Yeah,
So they're getting really close.
now they're only 18,000 away.
Right, they're
That's
so
awesome.
close. Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
thinks she's gonna get it soon. She's got
She's got a
She's
lot out.
determined.
She
She's
is
got a lot
doing
of,
great. Michelle's doing
Michelle is
awesome.
awesome. She's awesome.
She is awesome. She's a great grant writer, but she said no to me. I'm like, can't take a break. Let's see. I did attend, we got invited to watch the softball tournament. I went down on Sunday just to see what it was like, and they were doing a great job down there. Or it was a late Sunday afternoon, so I didn't get to see a lot of it, but it was a nice thing to see. The girls were playing, I think that's what I saw. And then, let's see, the user agreements. We're gonna meet with the park board next week, and then we'll try to wrap that one up. I've been talking, Mitch and I talked, and,
the baseball club.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
Park board.
I didn't mean that, I meant baseball club. Pickleball, we aren't real sure we need a user agreement with the pickleball, because they are not closing the courts to use it for an event. The one event that took place that they had to do was for a church that wanted it. So it really should have been the church that had requested a special events to close it down. They never will close it down. So until they're ready, wanting to close it down, then they can come to us and you guys can make a decision how you want to do it. But at this
I
time.
still think we need a user agreement with the pickleball folks.
But they're only using it to play pickleball. They're not doing anything.
They're
It's not like they're having
they're-
tournaments or closing it for anything.
It's
We're not,
it's unique compared to
it's
the
unique,
others.
but they're not
But they
asking
do
us to
come
give
us
them
a lot
courts.
for, with requests.
And that's to the part where they get requests. And that fell through on the gravel because they only could do 500, not the 1,500. So it didn't happen for their last request. So
I thought they were only to offer 5,500?
they only could do 5, so
Oh,
it
okay.
didn't happen. So
Oh,
that
okay.
was, so they can do that kind of stuff, but it's not gonna be where they are closing the courts. Like the baseball, they use it certain days, and the softball uses it on Sundays. They're not ever using it for that, for a tournament.
They're never
They're not-
closing it down before anyone, they're just getting there before everyone else.
They know it's a first come, first serve.
I just, with the problems we've had in the past, it concerns me that we do not have something agreed upon with
Like,
them.
what would we do though? What kind of, do you wanna look at, do you wanna write up something then?
Like the.
'Cause I don't know
Are
what
you
to
thinking
put
like
in
care and upkeep of the facilities, is that what you're thinking?
That should already
That's
been,
it.
that should already
They're
be.
doing that, that's what they told the park, what we put in that was what they told the park they're doing, and so they're doing that just because they want it to remain nice.
Right.
Should we put the discussion on the next committee meeting?
Maybe we should, so we can talk about it further.
And maybe it's, I just don't know what, if anything, we ever got in writing, that we held the key, that we,
Yeah.
is that all
Well,
in
actually,
writing somewhere?
That doesn't even have to be in writing, we instructed Ron at the park where he needs to go change the key where they don't have access to the key.
So that's the stuff that I'm concerned
Yeah,
about.
but that won't have anything to do with the user agreement.
I beg to differ on the in writing thing, that there has to be something somewhere
Okay, and that's
that
fine,
they understand.
Yeah.
This is the way it is.
okay.
That's how I feel about it.
But it's not, then the
Maybe we
user
can have
agreement
like
is
a
not gonna
city
be
pol-
to
If we don't
close
have
the court.
if they don't have an agreement, we could have a city policy or something,
Maybe.
pickleball
Yeah,
course use
I mean,
policy.
Look, we're running into it right now with the baseball and softball club, where they say we said that they would help with the bathrooms, and they didn't, like,
Yeah.
I don't want
Okay.
that in.
Well, maybe we need to have it for next time, then you guys can put in your thoughts of what you want in it, because what I thought it was, what you wanted was if they wanted to use the field, use the courts for their special events, and they don't really have special events, that they're closing it down for a special event.
to where the public couldn't use it.
Right. And
Because
that's
that
what-
has been talked about in the past. I
Well,
would
but
like to
again,
stop it, and it's,
Well, that's fine, it's
Yeah,
your
Yeah,
call.
we can
I'm
talk
good with
about it. It was just different because it wasn't like the soccer club or the baseball club where they're setting up teams and leagues and people are paying fees and
Like
then.
every Thursday, they're gonna have a close to
every
do that,
Thursday
they're not
they
doing that.
practice and no one can use it, and every Saturday there's games and no one can use it.
Right.
Because they
Yeah.
specifically said, we're never reserving it.
So maybe we just need to reword it with what they're doing and what, with the key, and then not have that other stuff out.
yeah,
try to
because there's,
do
And put
it.
in there,
there's
if
history
you're
there.
ever, then we could put in there, if you're ever going to
Then you have
reserve
to,
it, then you have to come through the city to.
but we
Yeah.
could do, okay, we
Let's
could do
have a
something like
separate,
that.
just, because
Okay,
there's.
So we'll put
history.
that on next agenda.
I thought they had an app where people had just.
That's just,
There's
to- it is to reserve so they have partners to play with,
It
because
is
they
to find a
know that
partner.
will
But it's
guarantee
first
them
come,
a
first
spot.
serve when they show
And
up.
they collect fees to be part of the
Their,
club.
their club. But that's what they use to pay for, like, those
Yeah, it's.
That's,
things they
Well, it's
want,
like
the paint.
yeah, we just
Okay,
need something.
Good enough, we'll have it on next one. The only other thing I would like, at next committee, or the next meeting is, it's time to do Mitch's review. He's 6 months in, guys, can you believe it? So we'll have that on the agenda.
Which is like, it's only
I'll send out, an evaluation for everybody, if you could work on that and bring it back, and then Mitch can decide if he wants to go into closed session or do
I was
it.
gonna say, is this a public? We
Well,
could
only if
publicly
he wants
review
it
you.
public, I
That'd
explained it
be
to him,
great.
so he can decide.
Now we're gonna.
We're gonna go close session. And then, oh, Jamie, I just wanted to ask you, are the nodes getting weeded this week, or have you done that already?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I've had
They're
some
working
calls.
on them, they started working on them this afternoon.
And they got rained out.
Got the downpour.
Okay, good enough. I'll let people know that it's on your list.
And we are gonna get new mulch put in there too.
Thank you.
It's
Okay, new mulch. I'll leave them share
just-
that.
Last year, we waited till Ragbri
Mm-hmm,
to remulch them, so that took it out of my budget.
for this year.
for-
Okay, got it. And then the trail bridge, did that get all resolved? Mitch and Jamie, are we waiting on the insurance guys for the school now to open that bridge, the trail bridge?
I think she emailed me over the weekend and I was out on Monday and I didn't get to her email today.
Okay,
I was-
so we just need to stay on that and make sure we can, like to get that opened up.
It looks nice. Did
Yeah.
your guys put that together? It looks
Okay,
nice.
thank
They
you.
straightened out the planks.
Mhm.
So it's done on our part. We're just waiting for them to do their thing. So we just need
I think
to,
she just
okay,
wants to have I think she just wants to have the insurance person come back. and-
come back and give their blessing. Okay, very good. And then I'm done with my report. Council, any of you have anything to report? Motion to adjourn?
So moved, thank you.
Second?
Kate's.
All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
7:41. Thank you all.
We have to say and sign stuff, don't we?
Aye, aye, aye.
I always try to get up and run.
Can you remember roughly when you first asked us to have pictures done?